Hannukah is around the corner, and we gotta prepare the right way, because if you're not waiting on the dock when the train is coming, then you miss the train. And we have the zchut, the merit, that every couple months we have a holiday, and something happens on the holiday that if I prepare myself the right way, then I benefit from the light, the energy, the effect that's happening on that day. And when you focus on Hannukah, there's not much preparations to do. Before Pesach, you have to clean the house. Before Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur, you have to have 30 days of slichot, and usually there's a preparation. Here with the Hannukah, you just lose some weight, so there'll be room for the donuts, so then you gain back the weight. But nevertheless, when we focus on the holiday, we have to understand what is the theme of the holiday. The theme of the holiday is that we're celebrating a victory. That's usually the case in holidays. You know the famous joke that in our holidays they wanted to destroy us. We won, let's eat. Yeah. So that's the story of our life. So same thing here. There was a threat, and we were victorious, and we won. We were victorious over the the Greeks. Now, when you're saying the word Greek, you're imagining, Greek music and with a bouzouki and maybe some arak or whatever it is in a nice island in Mykonos. But this is not the Greek that we're talking about. But nevertheless, that's where it originated from. But there was a war with the Greeks. And believe it or not, even though we won them 2,500 years ago, give or take, the war is still going on. Because the Greeks, what they brought a certain culture into the world. And if you remember in previous classes, I explained that up until the time of the Greeks, we were battling idol worship. And then at some point, our sages got together and they canceled the klipa of idol worship. In our generation, even though there is idol worship and avodah zarah, but it's not how it was 2,500 years ago. 2,500 years ago, our sages explained that the urge for idol worship was worse than today in our generation, a person who's addicted to heroin, how he needs his fix. That's nothing compared to how it was, the desire and the lust for idol worship at those times. So our sages canceled it. And they also wanted to cancel the desire for forbidden relations. But then they saw that nothing happens. They saw a couple of days, there wasn't even, chickens were not laying eggs. And they said, okay, if there's not going to be desire between one gender to the other, the world will not sustain. But nevertheless, when they canceled the desire for idol worship, came something new to replace it. That's when the Greeks came. And again, don't imagine we're going to say the word Greek a lot in this class, which I rather say Yavan than Greek, because Greek you're imagining either an island on Mykonos, or you're imagining a Greek salad. Rather, it's more precise to say Yavan. And last year I gave here a class about what's the source of Yavan, why specifically the word in Hebrew Yavan. If you're looking at the letters, it starts with a little Yud, then it goes to a Vav, and then it goes to a Nun. And it goes slowly, it grows longer and more lower. But nevertheless, the idea of the war with Yavan, that they brought to the world a new culture, what we call in our days the Western culture. This is different than many other cultures. Now, the problem with this culture is that the idea is you live the moment. Eat and drink today, because tomorrow we're going to die. And not only that, eat and drink today, because tomorrow we're going to die, do a lot of it today, as much as you can. And this is called, in our language, pleasures, hanaot. We all want to enjoy this world. And each one has a different way how they enjoy the world. One person is money, one person is alcohol, one person is sports, one person is gambling, another person is all of them together. but we're all looking after pleasures in this world. The culture of Yavan is not only the pleasure, is also that I want it here, now, and as much as possible. No, I don't have time for tomorrow. When I want something, I need it now. And it has to be a lot of it. And believe it or not, the culture of Yavan, it conquered the entire world. Even the world that is not the Western world is already now more like the Western world. Is materialism, and now, and a lot of it, and an abundance. And it all boils down to how much pleasure I can get from this world, and where am I getting this pleasure from? And I'm going from one pleasure to another pleasure. And usually what happens is that the pleasures that I have are not enough, and I have to subsidize it with more pleasures and so forth. Now, in our generation, this Western culture, the Greek culture, is everything that we have around us. And the ultimate of it is now, in our generation, is the smartphones. That's the ultimate Tarbut Yavan, the Greek culture. It's right away. I sent you an email. You didn't answer. You just sent it 3 minutes ago, but you didn't answer. And and just yesterday, we have all these WhatsApp groups where we post videos online. So my daughter, she helps. So she was adding a lot of people to the groups, and she told me, "Look at that! Everybody's on their phone. They're right away send you a message back. Thank you. I appreciate it." People are hooked on their phone. This is the ultimate Tarbut Yavan. Now, fast. And if it's not right now fast, then this is this culture. Now comes this culture to our world, and it didn't work well with the Jewish culture that precede that, because the Jewish culture is the complete opposite. Therefore, the Greeks, they had such a problem with the Jews. They didn't have a problem with many others, but the Jews, they caused the problem. Because they come to completely uproot their way of thinking and their way of living. Why? Because the Torah is the opposite of the culture of Yavan. The Torah is full of something. There's something there. It's not emptiness. And the culture of Yavan is complete emptiness. One big balloon of nothing. And the Torah is the complete opposite. Everything you do in the Torah has a meaning. Everything you do in the Torah has value. The Torah is not telling you to do something because it's bored. The Torah commands you to do something because there's a lot of details going on behind it. And this completely contradicts the culture of Yavan. Now, what is this culture of Yavan that they brought? They brought to the world what is called common sense. The intellect, the intelligence that makes sense. If it doesn't make sense, that's not true. And that's what they brought, because the Torah is the complete opposite. In the Torah, nothing makes sense. But in this world, if something doesn't make sense to me, science, medicine, whatever, then no. It's false. That's the idea, what they brought behind it. Everything has to be based on common sense. That has to work out in my mind. Now, the Torah is the complete opposite. Because the Torah you can never grasp. So the Torah comes to completely contradict this entire way. Now, the whole idea of the Greek culture is that I have to understand it in my mind. And not only that I have to understand it in my mind, if I don't understand it, it doesn't exist. It doesn't have any value if I don't understand it. More than that, this is just in my mind, in my intellect, what we call sechel. But it goes even deeper than that. It's also in our senses. Because what I can feel, then it's real. If I can't feel it, I can't see it, I can't smell it, it doesn't exist. This is the idea of klipa, of Tarbut Yavan, which is a klipa. If you remember, we spoke about it many times. We'll speak about it today too, that Yavan, the idea of Yavan is klipa. Klipa is a husk, is a cover, and specifically Yavan is klipat noga. We explained in other classes, I don't want to repeat it, but we do know that there are 3 domains in the universe. One domain is called the domain of holiness. It's called Rashut HaKedusha. The other one is the domain of unholiness, of Tum'ah. And then there's something in the middle. It's called Klipat Noga. It's a little bit from here, a little bit from there. We know that there are other klipot, specifically 3 that are very powerful impurity. Shalosh klipot me'ot. This we're not going to talk about today. This has nothing to do with Hannukah. Hannukah is around Klipat Noga. Now, the idea of the Greek culture is that you have to be, everything has to make sense. It has to be making sense, and it has to be in front of my eyes, and if I see it, I believe it. If I don't see it, I don't believe it. Now, our sages, there's a sage saying, Ma'amar Chazal, that it says, Harchiku b'neichem min ha'higayon. Move your children from common sense. Because the Torah has nothing to do with common sense. There's no sense in the Torah. If you're looking for sense in the Torah, you'll never find it, because the Torah is beyond the sense, because it's me'al ha'sechel, above the nature, above the sechel, the intellect. Now, the reality that we're talking about, this mitziut, is that I see, I feel, I hear, I understand. That's my reality. Imagine you take that away. So what's your reality? If I don't see anything, if I don't hear or touch or anything, then what is my reality? Can you define my reality if I don't have something in front of me, physical? This is the idea of Klipat Noga, and this is the idea of the Greek culture, that everything has to be right in front of me. Now, you're coming and telling me all sorts of fairy tales, that 3,500 years ago there was a man and he went up on a mountain and brought a Torah and some weird power in the world above. I mean, these are fairy tales. I mean, you sound cuckoo. Yeah, are you listening to what you're saying? You know, it's funny because we load every day the Zohar classes that we have here, and sometimes we go very, very high altitudes in the mysticism. And I always like to look at the comments that people leave. Some people leave comments on the videos with questions, some give nice feedback, and some write comments like saying, what is this nonsense you're talking about? This has nothing to do with the Torah. You're talking about things that don't make even sense. So comes the Greek culture and says, you're talking me about all these weird things? It doesn't even make sense. It doesn't exist. It's a fairy tale. It's nice for the stories. It's nice for Hollywood, but it's not the reality. And that's the idea, that the Greek system, and it's infected everything, even in the Jewish nation. I mean, just imagine what happened at the time of the war. The majority of the nation became Greek. I mean, they didn't become Greek, it's called Hityavnut. They left Judaism and they went to follow the Greek culture. Very few were left. And even in our generation, I'm not talking about now the Gentiles, I'm talking about in the Jews. The majority of the Jews of our generations are more attached to the Greek culture than the Jewish culture. And you'll tell now an average Israeli or a Jew that is secular, start telling them about God, Gan Eden, Gehenom, souls. Nonsense! You are dreaming. You are full of nonsense. That's what you are. So if it's not around my reality, then it's not relevant to me. That's the problem, that in our generation, it's not in front of me, then it has nothing to do with me. Tell now a secular individual observe Shabbat. Why? Because that's what it says in the Torah. So what? What does it do to me? What do I get from this? If I get something, I'll do it. So some people say, okay, you do something and you get a reward or a certain action, then I'll do it. But an average individual, tell them to do a certain thing, observe kosher. Why? Don't steal. I understand. Don't commit adultery. I can relate. To go to a mikveh. Why? It's more dirty than the shower. Why would I go into this pool of dirt? So if it's not in front of me, it doesn't make sense, then it has nothing to do with me. Now, the Greek culture says if you believe in something that you don't see, then you are a lunatic, that you are not reasonable. You are, and what does the Greek culture says? Have you seen God? Have you seen everything that you're talking about? I didn't see it. Moshe Rabbeinu saw God? Your hero? He saw God? No, he didn't see. Anybody saw him? How do you believe in something you don't see? So the idea of the Greek culture is not only left behind 2,500 years ago, it's still here, up until now in our generation. Now, the truth, so to say, of the Greek culture is that my life is acting according to my sechel, to my common sense. There's no miracles, there's no things above that. It's what my common sense understands, and that's it. And my reality is what I see, what I understand, what I feel, and the story. Which later on, science came and kind of broke the whole Greek idea, because science already started figuring out things that you don't really see. Do you see electricity? No, but I know it exists. So now you can believe in something that you don't see. So even science came and already started shaking the idea of the Greek culture. But nevertheless, comes a Jew to this Greek culture, and it says, you know it's the real reality? What you don't see, and what you don't feel, and what you don't understand. That's the real reality. Now comes most of the people in this planet says, you're out of your mind. You're telling me that what I don't see, and what I don't understand, what I can't feel, that's the reality? What's wrong with you? Sorry to tell you, I think you need to be checked. Maybe something wrong with the box up there. You know, you just learned now a beautiful class with the with Yedida about Rav Ashlag, great commentary on the Zohar. Rav Ashlag calls this world the imaginary world, Olam Medumeh. I mean, or not necessarily imaginary. Medumeh is also like a mock, a false, something that's illusion. There's nothing here. And for example, you know, you look right now, you have here a cup. Do you see the cup? Yeah? You really think you see the cup?
Yes.
You know, if there wouldn't be light now in the room, would you see the cup?
No.
No? So what are you seeing? You seeing the cup or you seeing the light?
Light.
What are you seeing here?
Light.
No, not only that. In order for me to see the cup, then I have to see the beams of light. That's what I'm seeing. I'm not seeing the cup right now. I'll ask you something else. Now you're holding the cup. If you wouldn't have nerves on the tip of your fingers, would you feel the cup?
No.
So what am I feeling? Maybe something here is a false reality. How do you know that I'm feeling what I'm actually feeling? Do you really think you're hearing my voice right now?
Now we all are going to get cuckoo.
Yeah, now we're all going to get cuckoo. You know that if there wouldn't be, air in the room right now, you would not hear my voice?
There's no air.
If there wouldn't be air in the room right now, you would not hear my voice. So Judaism comes and tells you, take everything of what you know, take it out of the existence, and that is the reality. What you don't hear, what you don't see, what you don't feel, what you don't understand, that is the reality. We're living in a false reality. That's why in Hebrew the world is called olam. And olam comes from the word he'elem, concealment, something that you don't see. That's, the words in English don't make much sense. The words in Hebrew, they make sense. And what is the sechel, the intellect? Is that when I see something, do I really see it? No, it's a translation of light waves that my brain is translating that light wave. Am I really seeing it? No, I'm not. And the same thing with hearing. You think that the voice, it's the brain translating waves of sound. Now, how do I know that I'm translating it the right way? Maybe something's wrong with me. The easiest way to prove it is you take now a color. What color is this? Some will say brown. Some will say no, it's a dark yellow. No, it's beige. No, it's white. You can argue on the colors as much as you want. So, really when you're thinking about that, is the entire existence or the entire reality is in my brain. It's not here. Right? Where do you see another proof to that is when you dream. Where's the reality? Where are you when you dream? It's in your brain. So we're not going to go too cuckoo tonight, because then people start losing their grasp of reality. Wait a minute, maybe I'm not even here. You're right, we're not even here. So, but nevertheless, the real world, I'll tell you what's the real world. This is not the real world. This is an imaginary world. The real world is called Olam HaNeshamot, the world of souls. And the souls don't have a shape, they don't have a size, they don't have a color, they don't have a shade, they don't have any physical shape. When you dream, what are you dreaming of? Do you really see images in your dream? You don't see images in your dream. It's more like the awareness of what you are thinking of. And the proof to that is how many times when you dream that you're in your home, but it's not your home. Or you dream that you're with your best friend. It's not your best friend. It doesn't look like the best friend. But you know, oh, I know in the dream I was with my father. But I didn't see him. Your eyes are closed. How can you see something? It's an imagination. So the real world this is not a real world. This is a fake world. And the real world is the world above, the world of souls, the world of sfirot, the world of orot. These are things that we don't really understand. And how do you know that? Take anything in this world. Take anything that we have right now. In 100 years, where is it going to be? It disappears. Take a body, a human body, put it in the ground. After a couple of years, it disappears. So the physicality, the material, the chomer, it's very limited. And it's not eternal. So there's not really a reality. This is not the reality. The reality is the world above, or the spiritual world. Now, interestingly, like I said before, that science are coming and starting to contradict a little bit the Greek culture. I don't know how you say it exactly, and you correct me, but physicists, that's how you say? A physikai, somebody who does physics, a physicist? Okay. Physicists found, or they prove, that everything has an atom. And in the atom, there's a electron. I don't know how you call it in English, maybe also electron, okay? And inside there's the garin. The garin is the core. And there's always going to be an electron that's circling around the core. Scientists have found that the distance, the ratio of the distance between the core to the electron is the same distance from here to the sun, ratio-wise. Can you imagine? I'll say it again. The ratio between the core of the atom and the electron that's running around the atom is the same distance in ratio from here to the sun. That's insane. More than that, they found out that the material, it has to be some type of a substance, a material. The quantity, the ratio between the quantity of the material to the space is 99.999999999999999999999 and goes much more nines, which means that 99.999 is nothing, and 0.00000000001 is material. So this is what's called Ein Sof. This is infinity, Ein Sof. So scientists already prove that the material that we have in this world is a cover of nothing. So just imagine that we're believing, the Torah is teaching us, that there's Ein Sof, there's infinite, there's no material. The material is very, very thin. Now science is coming and saying, you're right, because the chomer, the substance, is a fraction of really the reality. So there's a void of nothing in between. And that's just in one atom. Just imagine how scientists compare the material of the entire world to either a golf ball or a tennis ball. That's how much material there is here. Now, the material is a cover. And it's a cover to the spiritual. So really we don't fathom or see the spiritual. We just see the cover. And the body is what we see. You don't see the inside. The body is a klipa. The body is a shell, a cover to the ruach, to the spirit. And that's the truth, not the body. The body, put it in the ground, take the ruach, take the spirit out, the body will fall, the body will decompose, and that's it. And the body goes back to its element of afar, of earth, and there's no memory of that body whatsoever. What is real truth is not the body. The body is not the truth. What's real truth is the inside, the soul. So that brings you to a big question in this world. So why you invest so much in the body? Why don't you invest in your soul? People spend thousands of dollars on creams and all sorts of junk they put on their body. Why? Why? Invest in the soul. The body is going to disappear at some point. I'm talking about when you have dry skin. I'm talking about the investment that most people do to the body is way beyond what the body really needs. Eat healthy, sleep whenever you need to, take care of your body. I'm not telling you to neglect the body, chas v'shalom. But look at most people, what they do is that all the attention goes to the body. Now, according to the Greek culture, then you can't see the neshama. That's their whole problem, that you can't really see the neshama. Now, why can't you see the neshama? Because the more you're strengthening the body, then it covers more on the light of the neshama. The more you feed the body more. This is the klipat noga. This is the nefesh be'emit. The more you add to that, the light of the neshama will diminish and diminish and diminish. Imagine now there's sunlight coming into the room. Now the screen's on the window, so it filters the light a little bit. Now pull down a drape, it will filter it a little bit more. Pull a curtain, it will block the light even more. Put now plywood on the windows, it will filter the light even more to a point that inside we're not going to get any of this light. So the more the soul is covered with physicality, the more you don't feel the soul. That's why most of us don't feel the soul. How many people really feel the soul? You ever felt your soul? Once in a blue moon, maybe you do a good deed, an act of kindness, and you feel a little bit of tingle in your heart. But that's it. Thousands of men, they put tefillin on every day. You think they feel something? Hypothetically, or realistically I should say, a man needs to put tefillin on and faint on the spot from the kedusha, from the light. If we would feel, we would actually explode. So the body is containing it, but the reality is, like, take a great tzaddik, they put tefillin on, they are in a different world. They feel this unbelievable pleasure that we will never feel. Now, again, going back to the soul is the source of everything. And the soul is connected to Hashem. That's how I'm connected to Hashem. I'm not connected to Hashem through a body. I'm connected to Hashem through a soul. Now, take all that. The Greeks, they couldn't stand the Jews. We don't like you. You're completely distorting our new method, our new reality, our new culture. And with a Jew, it's all about belief. It's not about anything else but emunah. Can you grasp emunah? Can you explain what it means to believe? What do you say? I had a hunch. I have a feeling. I mean, our belief, our entire existence is based on belief, on emunah. We talked about it Tuesday on emunah, how powerful emunah can be. If you have strong emunah, you can walk through a wall. You can do whatever you want. You can be untouchable, invincible. You can be anything you want if you have emunah. The thing is that we have 0.0000000 something emunah. That's how low our emunah is. But if you have unbelievable powers of emunah, you can battle and win everything in this reality. The majority of things that happen to us is because of that we don't have emunah. If you had unbelievable emunah, you would be able to do almost whatever you want in this world. And the proof to that is that tzaddikim are able to do it. Now, the problem is that the more that I, so to say, bother the body, or the more that I feed the body with the pleasure that the body wants to get, then the klipa becomes thicker and thicker and thicker. And the more thicker it becomes, the more I desire that pleasure. And I told you before, the pleasure can be a cup of coffee, the pleasure can be gambling, drugs, alcohol, marital relations, beautiful cars, movies, whatever you want. I mean, everybody has what for them is pleasure. For one person to watch football all day long, that's their pleasure. Another person, for their pleasure, is just to wear beautiful clothes. But we're all constantly, if you're focusing on it, we're constantly running. Where am I getting another dose of pleasure today? And the more you feed the urge of the body, the more it becomes thicker, and then it more covers the soul. Now, the idea of this cover, what we call klipat noga, is that the actions that I do have no purpose. That's klipat noga. I mean, I need to, if I eat and my purpose is to feed my body so I can have energy to serve Hashem, then the food is elevated to holiness. But if I'm just having now a cookie, is there a purpose in that cookie? It's full of sugar. It's full of white flour and many other junk in it. What's the purpose? Because it's tasty. So it's a pointless purpose. There's no purpose here. The purpose here is to make your taste bud taste good. You eat a carrot. Oh, that's the purpose, because it's healthy, it's nutrition, it will give me energy. That carrot actually is not going to give me energy, by the way. It's the soul that will give the energy, but nevertheless, the carrot is healthy food. It will allow my body to function the right way. Klipat noga is when my actions are pointless. There's no point for what that action is. It doesn't matter to me if I get from point A to point B with a cheap car, an expensive car. My point is to get from point A to point B. It doesn't matter how the car looks, or many other things. So what is the ultimate culture that Greek brought? Was entertainment. Sports, movies, fun, galleries, art, whatever that is. That's what they brought. Let's have fun. Let's enjoy this world. Why are you talking to me about a world to come? Let's enjoy today. I don't know what's going to be tomorrow. Now, again, here is where the words in English don't make sense and the word in Hebrew makes sense. Because in English, entertainment, okay, you're being entertained. In Hebrew, the word entertainment is called bidur. Bidur is the word for Hebrew when you spread things around, when you scatter things around, or when you let something loose. If a woman has her hair in a ponytail, she takes the rubber band off and goes like this. This is called bidur ha'se'ar, spreading the hair everywhere. So the word entertainment in Hebrew is called bidur. And bidur means that you're spreading, what are you spreading? All your powers of your nefesh. So klipat noga is when you're feeding klipat noga, you know what you're doing? You're taking all your powers of your soul and you're spreading it over the universe with no purpose. You're losing all your energy, all your holy energy. This is klipat noga. So I come now and I pleasure myself with whatever it is. Having here a cup of coffee and a croissant, and here whatever it is. I don't want to give examples because people get offended because I mock the rogolachim all the time. But nevertheless, whenever I feed klipat noga for an action that has no purpose, what I'm doing here is I'm taking any energy that I have and I'm blowing it up in the air. Like taking a handful of sand and just throwing it in the air. Just spreads all over the place. This is exactly what you do when you feed klipat noga. That's why in Hebrew the word makes more sense, called bidur, which is entertainment, because really, not to chas v'shalom touch anybody's feelings, but you sit and watch a movie for 2 hours. Why? What did you gain there? Yeah, it's entertaining, right? The actors are very good, it was funny, it was action, but what's the purpose? What came out of the movie? You became smarter, you gained something in Olam Haba, you what? I mean, I know many can come and say, well, no, in the movie there's a Musar Haskel, there's a message behind it. You can argue about anything you want, but the point is, when you go to Shamayim, they're going to look at your record. You think that the fact that you watch a movie is going to give you credit points to go into Gan Eden? What are you going to do with this movie in Gan Eden? You have nothing to do with it. So you enjoyed it today, and let's say you can somehow bend the rules and say, yeah, I derived a lot from that movie. Now I'm a much smarter person when I saw this movie. It's 100% entertainment. There's nothing there. Okay, again, you can argue as much as you want if you want to argue. So I saw a documentary and I learned about the nature in the world. Okay, the point is, I now do a mitzvah. When I go up to the world above, the mitzvah has value? Yes. The mitzvah will stay for me for eternity. Me sitting in a coffee shop and having a cup of coffee and smoking a cigarette will give me something in eternity? No. So anything that is entertainment, and again, I know there can be many arguments. Yeah, but you need to sometimes to unwind, and sometimes you want to broaden your horizon and see some culture and a nice ballet. I'm not against it. But let's cut to the chase. Is it giving you anything? No, it's entertainment. So I can guarantee to you that many years ago there wasn't so much entertainment. You think that in Russia 300 years ago there was entertainment? You were sitting in a place full of snow like this and there was no entertainment. Now entertainment is in your pocket. Once to go see a movie, when I was a little kid, what it was to see a movie. Once a year, the whole family, they get together, what excitement. We're going to see a movie. You get excited a week before that. Now, people see movies 3 times a day on their phone. The entertainment today is right on your phone. You don't have to work so hard. Now, if you notice, this is the sensitive part. Be honest and be true to yourself. How many hours a day do you spend on Facebook? Let's not now insult anybody, but in an average 2 or 3 hours. That's entertainment. Did you get anything from that? Besides now the little videos that you saw a little bit of Torah, but that's the klipa, that it gives you 5 minutes of Torah and then 3 hours of gossip and nonsense and the same junk over and over. This entertainment is to capture your existence and to give all your energy to what? To a screen. You're looking at the screen and you're spreading energy. And once it was hard to enjoy entertainment. You had to drive to the next city to see the circus or whatever. Now everything is in your hand. Just imagine how much hours a day you're wasting on this entertainment. Do you need to check your WhatsApp every 3 seconds? Or is it enough to do it once a day? You can check it once a day. Well, it's so important that you need to check your emails 3 times a minute, and every time the phone goes, it's some spam email for some, I don't know, from some shop trying to sell you something. So, and we don't even notice how we're trapped into this entertainment. And again, a lot of it is dressed in the klippah of Torah. You'll see a nice 3-4 minute video of Torah, and then you see the rest of the junk that's, in the suggested ones. And you have to be true to yourself. I mean, very few people go into Facebook, they put their posts, they read a little bit the news or whatever, and they go out. Most people, it's like, they're like zombie into the screen. Excuse me. And it's the same stuff. It's literally the same junk. It's not that you're now being fed with unbelievable information. And that it captures you. Now everything is video. Once you had to actually use your brain to move the eyes on the letters and figure out the letters, what word it does. Now you just sit like this. And the movie just feeds you. So, and again, I'm not trying to make fun of anybody. I'm just trying to paint the reality is that our life is around entertainment. So if it's not the phone, then it will be a magazine. If it's not the magazine, it will be a movie. And it's not the movie, it's whatever it is. This is Klippat Noga. This is the culture of Yavan, to hypnotize you, and you're just giving energy. You're not doing anything. You're not producing anything smart. Now again, anything can be argued. I'm talking now in general, that we get the point. Whoever wants to argue, good. They'll have what to argue about. There's always what to argue about, but you don't get anything out of it. The point is to understand what is this culture of Yavan that has infected us. It's everywhere. It's all around you. Even just the other day I had to go to the bank. And usually I don't go and do errands. I will send somebody to do it. But I was like, that's perfect time. It will give me my 10 minutes. I'll read my Tikkun HaKlali. I'll do whatever I read. And it's so hard to stand in a bank and read something because here's a TV flashing something. Whoa, what is flashing there? And then, there's so much distractions everywhere. It's very hard to look at the book. And there's constantly these flashes everywhere, especially if you have a smartphone. Constantly that you can't sit and concentrate. I see men coming here and learning. They're not learning. They're not listening to me. They nod. But the finger syndrome. Something's wrong with the finger. So the point is that this is this entertainment. And again, take the word in Hebrew. Bidur is entertainment. You can go to Google Translate, you'll see that's the word. And bidur in Hebrew is spreading, is when you spread something around. You're taking all your energy and you're spreading it around. Imagine now how much effort you put in the morning to pray, or to say Birkat HaMazon, or to do whatever you need. You're containing energy now. The more you contain energy, and you're not letting the energy go, you are a ball of energy. This is the power, the nuclear power. Why is everybody running after nuclear power? Because you're containing energy without releasing it. You can imagine, that's why you see the great tzaddikim, they're a ball of power, because the energy is contained. It's not being spread all over the world. Now, the Yavan, the culture of Yavan in my soul, in my nefesh, is the control of Klippat Noga on me. That's the power of Yavan in me. That Klippat Noga is controlling me. And again, not to chas v'shalom sound in an insulting way, but we're all controlled by Klippat Noga. Don't think for 1 second that you're not under control of Klippat Noga. Very few people know how to dismantle the control of Klippat Noga. We're all controlled over it. How many times you go through the bakery and you're like, that's those cinnamon buns. They smell. Maybe I should get myself 1 or 2. It's not going to hurt anybody. Only 1 rogalach. I wake up in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning, I go to the mikveh right next to the bakery. You can faint on the way to the mikveh. With that smell in the morning, suddenly you don't think about the mikveh. Forget about the mikveh, let me go get a rogalach. So, the point is that we're all controlled from this Klippat Noga, because we're constantly going to look like where I can be more comfortable, where I can gain more pleasure. And this is us being addicted to pleasures. And again, I told you, some people the addiction is severe to the types of pleasures. Some people it's a little bit under control, but we're all addicted to pleasure. At the end of the day, very few people, they can eat a little bit, sleep on an uncomfortable bed, go walk and carry bags. We're all like, where can I get a little bit more comfortable? Why do you need the iPhone 17, whatever number it has? Isn't it the same like the one that was a year ago? So what, the edges are the edges are a little bit more rounder? I mean, this is the level of nonsense. The new model comes out, people will kill each other. Now it's going to be Black Friday, right? People actually kill each other to get to the next, I need the next TV or the next phone or whatever it is. This is the Yavan Shebanefesh, the klipa of Yavan, of Greek. I don't want to call it Greek, it's Yavan, in my nefesh. It's in my soul. Now, you know what was the poison of the Greeks? They said, well, listen, you can stay Jewish. I'm not telling you to be not Jewish. I just want you to get rid of a few things. Now, this is us. I'm observant. I observe Shabbat. Yeah, it's okay. I'll let you do your Jewish things, but just give up a few of them. Don't have to give up all of them. That was Yavan. What did they tell them? We don't want circumcision, because that doesn't make sense. We don't want Shabbat. Shabbat is the source. We don't want the Kiddush HaChodesh, that you're going to count your calendars how you count them. We're going to have our calendar now. But the rest you can do. You want to do the rest of your funny rituals? Go ahead and do it. I'm not stopping you. And that was the idea of Yavan, is like, no, I'm not telling you that our culture is contradicting yours. We're going to help you. We're going to give you an iPhone so you can watch the Torah you want to learn on the iPhone. You know, I not too long ago I was in a lecture and a young man came to me and told me, oh, you know what, lately I became so observant, and he told me in Hebrew, and I'm becoming stronger and this and that, and he was wearing a little beard, a yarmulke, and I was like, wow, kol hakavod, amazing. And he tells me, I learn like 12 hours a day Torah. Ooh, wow, I don't learn 12 hours a day Torah. Where do you learn? Which yeshiva do you go to? He's like, well, I'm not really on yeshiva. I watch videos on YouTube. YouTube is not a yeshiva. Torah you learn with a book, not with a screen. I mean, the videos are nice. You want to learn Torah, you have to sit with a book. And you have to sit in a holy place like a shul or a yeshiva. And you have to pronounce the words. And you have to use your brain, not to sit like this. I mean, I'm doing videos myself, and it's not that I'm chas v'shalom disqualifying the videos, but you don't learn Torah from a video. Video is nice when you want to spend some time. You can go to the class, you're driving, you want to hear the Torah, but to learn Torah is with a book. Besides the fact that I said that so many times, and I know many people get disappointed, but from the video you don't get much. You get maybe 5% of the energy of what's really going on in the class. You know, in the beginning when we started the classes here, the place was packed with women. Then every month we lost 5 women, another 5 women. And then when I saw them in the street, why aren't you coming anymore? Well, you know, I see you on my screen at the home. I can be with my pajamas. I can do whatever I want. Why bother coming? It's cold, rain, sitting there. Anyways, you're going to put the video 2 hours later on YouTube. I'll see it already from home. Yeah, but you don't get the same thing, because it's transmitting through a klipa, through a screen, through a filter. So you get the words, but you don't get the energy, you don't get the power, you don't get the enlightenment. So the point was with the Greek that they said, listen, stay frum. Stay frum on Facebook. How can you be observant on Facebook? It's just lashon hara, it's just lying and slandering, maybe 1% is truth. It's all junk there. And then starts all the comments, and he said, and this said, and you get yourself caught in all these arguments with people you never met. And then they defriend you. Oh my gosh, now we defriend him. You don't even know him. So what if he defriended you? Yeah, you don't even met the person. It's not even really a friend. Maybe it's some nutcase on the other side of the world. So that's how pathetic it is. So Yavan tells you, no, go to YouTube. There's a lot of Torah on YouTube. You know that? But as you're seeing the Torah on the side, there's all the junk. I'm not talking about the inappropriate advertisements that they put on the video. You know, sometimes I look and I see that the kids shows, you would think that they will be smart enough to put the right appropriate ads on the kids shows. The junk that they put as ads on the kids shows, like, wouldn't you? Why would you want your kid to see that? So Yavan is telling you, listen, you can leave the yarmulke on, you can pretend that you're religious, but just, just give up a few things. So this is in our generation. Our generation has the problem that there's no purpose. Ask now a lot of people in the streets, what is your purpose? What are you doing? I'm saving up money. For what? Well, I want to go in the summer on a vacation. That's your purpose? To go on a vacation? Or to buy a new car? I mean, that's your purpose in life? To save up money, then to buy a nicer car? I mean, there's nothing wrong with driving a nice car, but that is your purpose? You wake up in the morning to go to work so you can have more money, so you can spend it on more junk that you're never going to use? That's the problem in our generation. There's barely any purpose. Very few people, they're focused on a purpose. I want to learn a trade so I can make money, so I can send my kids to yeshiva and buy kosher food and host people on Shabbat and so forth. The war between Yavan and the Jews was the war between the spirit, the intangible, the spirituality, and the physicality. That's the war. Really, when you're looking at the war, if you're looking at the actual physical war, you know what it was? You're talking about the army of Greece, which is kind of equivalent to our generation to the army of Russia, and 5 men. 5 men. And don't think they were like 5-degree black belt in ninjutsu. These were priests. All they know is to burn incense and to slaughter animals and to put them on the altar. You're not talking here about warriors. You're talking about 5 priests. Kohanim. Matityahu, Kohen Gadol, he was the high priest. He wasn't 29. He was an old man. And his sons. And he tells his sons, Yalla, we're going to war. And they're like, really? Who are we fighting? Well, that army. An army? Huh. Really? And who's with us? Hashem is with us. 5 guys go to war. Later on, a few more men joined them, and they won. And you know why they won? Because they came with the spirit, not with the body. When the spirit is strong, you can fight anything you want. You know, at the time there was a siege on Yerushalayim, army, a whole Roman army. Sometimes they would send 2 people out, and they would fight the whole army and win. Look at now, we're going to learn very soon. But Shimon and Levi, a 13-year-old and a 15-year-old. They're going into a city of Shechem and they destroy all of them. Can you imagine? Is it better than a Kung Fu movie? 2 guys are like beating up like 700 people. So Matityahu, he was the Kohen Gadol, and he figured out something that this is really, one of the many things that we need to take from that. He knew that there was a decree against us at the time, what is called the Gzerah. He figured out something that we need to learn from that, something very, very important. When there's a spiritual decree against us, for example, like Haman wanted to annihilate us. This is a spiritual decree. He didn't care about I'm observant, I'm not observant. Hitler imach shemo. That's a spiritual decree. I want to annihilate you. I don't want you. It's like now we have our dear friends in Iran. They want to annihilate us. They don't want to negotiate here. They're building a nuclear bomb to bomb us and to get rid of us. When there's a spiritual gzerah, a decree against us, when there's a physical decree against us, I said spiritual, completely the opposite. When there's a physical decree against us, Haman wanted to destroy us, I messed it up. Hitler wanted to destroy us. When there's a physical decree against us, now there's a physical decree against us, by the way, in case you didn't notice. The way to fight it, the reaction has to be spiritual. We can't fight now the Palestinians. People think we can fight them. And we can fight the Iranians or the Russians or the Syrians. You think we can fight them? So when there's a physical decree against us, the reaction or the way to fight it is only spiritual. When it's the other way around, when it's spiritual, then the reaction is physical. So now in Hannukah, the decree was spiritual. Because the Greek says, we don't want to kill you. We just want to kill your soul. We don't care to kill you. Haman said, I'm going to kill you all. Hitler, I'm going to kill you all. And many others. Paro, that's a physical decree. When there's a spiritual decree, like in Hannukah, then they have to fight with physicality. That's why the Hashmonaim, Matityahu, they went into war. But in other cases, now, for example, now the decree against us is physical. We have no power. People think that we have some type of an issue with the Palestinians. We have nothing with the Palestinians. Our issue is with Hashem. Palestinians is just a tool to go and annoy us. We have no issues, not with the Palestinians, not with the Hezbollah, not with Syrians. Our issue is only with Hashem. And there's no way of fighting it with jets and bombs and machine guns. The only way to fight it is only with the spiritual war. For example, in the situation like we have right now, you think our army is worth anything? Our army is worth nothing if we go into war. The only way to fight the war that we have right now, and don't kid yourself for 1 second, people live in some false reality. Everything's okay, Bibi is going to take care of everything, and we have 120 jets. We'll take care of everything. The IAF is very strong. A person that lives like that lives in some type of bubble of I don't know what. You know how many missiles are aimed at us as we speak right now? Probably about 1 million missiles are aimed at us. Missiles and rockets. You know how many soldiers are around Israel? Probably about 1 million soldiers around Israel. They just need to walk into Israel. You know, they're all waiting for the moment just to... The fact that nothing is happening is only because the Kadosh Baruch Hu is not allowing anything to happen yet. But to live in the thought that, no, we're totally fine. People in America, they live like, oh, no, we're totally safe here. I don't know what you're talking about. You know what's going on in America? Every day there's dozens, if not hundreds of anti-Semitism acts. Pushing and kicking and stabbing and spraying, and people live like, oh, no, everything's fine. People live in some la la land. Same thing even now in Israel. And every now and then Hashem is like opening a little bit the doorway, a little bit of missiles come down, okay, but we don't do anything. The only way to fight the physical decree is only with spirituality. There's no other way of doing it. Sit now and learn Tehillim, you're pushing away, armies of soldiers. Now, what is really the power of victory is only the spirituality. And how? Only if it's done with a self-sacrifice, what we call Mesirut Nefesh. That's why they were able to win the war. 5 guys. I'll say, okay, later on maybe another 10 guys added. But they had Mesirut Nefesh. They said, okay, if we die, we die, but we're going. We're not stopping. Because they went in such a self-sacrifice, then that's what allowed them to win. So same thing now. The spiritual war needs a lot of Mesirut Nefesh. Now, when you do something b'mesirut nefesh, I can do one mitzvah, and it's easy for me to do, and I can do the same mitzvah with a lot of difficulties and a lot of fighting. And if I do it with mamash, putting my life on the line, self-sacrifice, then what the result is that I reveal this godly light. And that's what happened in Hannukah. They went with such mesirut nefesh that they were able to reveal this godly light. And this light that they revealed in Hannukah, up until today, it's shining. Because they permeated this light in the world. Now, each and every one of us has the ability to reveal this godly light. When you do something b'mesirut nefesh, you will reveal this light. The problem is that not everybody can do that. We're very weak. We have a lot of challenges, a lot of desires, lusts, and addictions, or whatever you want to call it. It's very hard for us to go b'mesirut nefesh in spirituality. It's a fighting. I see men in the morning trying to come to a minyan. You know what a struggle it is to wake up in the morning. I'll put the tefillin later, I'll do it later, and then you don't do it. Since we not so easily can reveal this light, then Hashem gave us exit points, and these are all the holidays. Hannukah, for example, the main part of Hannukah, what was the miracle of Hannukah? Is the light. What do we celebrate the holiday? With a candle. We're lighting the light. Candle in Hebrew is ner. Ner is the acronym of nefesh veruach. When you light up the candle, you are exposing what's called gilui neshama. You bring the level of neshama out to the open. That's what we do. Hashem says, okay, I'm not asking you to go in front of an army and fight. I'm asking you, light a candle. That's what I'm telling you to do. Since there was already gilui or, there was already a mesirut nefesh at the time of Hannukah, so the slide is there, just reveal it. And when I do the action of the candle, then I'm revealing the light of my neshama. If a person is smart and is tapping into the energy of Hannukah the whole 8 days, it will last him for the rest of the year. And there's not much to do. All you need to do is light the candles and sit next to them half an hour and look at the candles. There is something that we do. I explained it last year. We'll explain it again when Hannukah comes close. There's a certain chapter of Tehillim that we read 7 times, and we read V'hinoam, and we read Anava. There's something that we read. Last year, if you remember, I told you to do it. That's what you need to do. To some opinions, you sit next to the candles half an hour. Some people say 40, 50 minutes. That's what you need to do. You're tapping into this energy. Now, to see the beauty in it, that we know that the nation of the Jews are compared to 2 things. To grapes and to olives. That's what we are compared to. Grapes and olive. Grape, what do you make out of grapes? You make wine. How do you make wine? You put the grapes on the floor and you stand on them. You crush the grapes. Just thinking of it, ugh. Somebody's standing on these grapes and then I'm going to drink it. But that's the idea. It's the lowest and the most dirtiest of all. The foot steps on the grapes. But you know what it does? It transforms it to holiness. Wine is the only beverage that has a specific blessing for itself. We do kiddush on it, havdalah, on Pesach, 4 cups of wine. You take this fruit and you crush it, step on it. With the lowest of our body parts. I hope they wash the feet, but they probably do. But nevertheless, the next fruit is the olive. Have you ever had a raw olive? It's hard like a rock, and bitter. It's so bitter. Now again, the more you crush the olive, what comes out? Olive oil. The purest olive oil. So, and what is this olive oil that comes out? That's the neshama. You know, oil in Hebrew is shemen. Same letters of neshama. So when you crush the olive, comes out the oil. Same thing here. Just that you know, for the Hannukah, the most valuable candle is from olive oil. I know some people, they do wax. It's messy, but the best and the most highest you can do is light a Hannukah candle with olive oil. But to kind of conclude it, each and every one of us, we have a body, very stiff body. And this body is surrounded with this klipa, because I feed it all the time, food and movies and iPhones and schmiphones and all this junk, and making the body so coarse, it's like a cement. It's like this olive. You need to crush it. But inside this body, there's a neshama. There's a holy soul. All you need to do now is crush the body. Crush the body, the soul will start shining. Now, I'm not telling you to physically crush the body. It's not what I'm talking about. And it's not physically, I'm not beating the body. But it's not only with what once people used to do, fast a lot and torture the body. This is not breaking the body. The way to break the body is, what is the power of the body? Is my lusts, is my ego, is the desire that I want more and I need more and I deserve it, and it's called the ratzon lekabel, the desire to take, to receive. So the power, the coarseness of my body is my ego. I'm right. How dare he say that to me? How dare he does this to me? He started talking about me, you know who I am. And I'm right, and I deserve it, and I have to be first in line. Why are you pushing me in line? I was here first. I was here first. And then comes all my lusts for this and for that and for forbidden things, and you can't ignore the reality, and you can't, no, I'm holy, I'm Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, I have no lust, I don't lust anything. We all lust all day long things. And then I have the desire, everything is I need to get, the iPhone and the iMac and the iPad and all the eyes. So this is the coarseness of the body. That's what I need to break. Not the body itself, but when I break that, that's when the neshama starts coming. When I desire something and I know, not doing it right now. Why? Because I'm not feeding you now whatever you want. So I need to know how to break my ego. It's not about me. Somebody bothers you or annoys you, you're about to explode. Wait a minute, why am I upset? Because he bothered me. Because he said something about me. Maybe that person is more right than me. Maybe he should be first in line and not me. Maybe he should be above and I should be below. So I need to know how to break this egoism. That's the coarseness of the body. Now, the more you break it, the more energy you produce, the energy is coming out, because there's a lot of energy hidden in the neshama. It's just you don't know how to bring it out. Now, when I break the physicality, the soul, that's when it receives the light. When there's a lot of physicality, you can't be spiritual when you're eating all day long and sleeping and worrying about how you look and the clothes and everything. You're never going to be spiritual. I mean, you could think you're spiritual. You know, not to chas v'shalom put anybody on the spot, but how can you be spiritual driving a beautiful Mercedes? I'm sorry, it doesn't work out. It doesn't fit together. I mean, because the Mercedes is I want to be, and then I have nothing against Mercedeses, but and chas v'shalom don't want to put anybody on the spot. There are some great people, amazing people that they drive a Mercedes, but in my mind, I don't see how can you become spiritual when all you care about is how big is the plasma TV and how shiny your watch is. This is not spiritual. So I need to know how to break this, the physicality of the body. Now again, I'm not saying it's easy. It's almost impossible and actually very hard. How many times a day you desire something and you say to yourself, no, I'm not going to have that second cup of coffee. I had already coffee in the morning. Don't need another cup of coffee. I don't need another pair of shoes. I don't need this and that. I already saw this movie. I already got my daily dose. Now, the more that I break the physicality, the more the soul will start shining. Now again, like I said, it's not easy. But since it's not easy and almost impossible, then we have the holidays. That's a gift. That's a coupon. The same Hashem is saying here, take a 90% coupon. All you need to do is observe the holiday and you get this exact same effect by default, present. So what do we do on Hannukah? We light candles. We take wax or oil and we turn it into fire. And the fire is light. So we have to focus on a few things. First of all, to understand that I am a slave and I am captured by Klipat Noga. And if you don't acknowledge that, then you are more in trouble than you think. If you wake up in the morning and you're saying, I am a captive or a prisoner of Klipat Noga, now how am I getting out of it? Then you already have 10 steps ahead. When you understand that I'm constantly going to be drawn to physicality. I'm constantly going to be drawn for comfort, pleasure, and so forth. So first of all, I have to acknowledge that. Now once I acknowledge that, I need to start knowing how I'm maneuvering around it. And don't forget that Klipat Noga is going to allow you to be observant. It's going to tell you, you can keep kosher, you can do all your fancy schmancy observant thing, but sit on Facebook for 3 hours. And do this and this and that, and you can gossip here and there. It's nothing wrong with gossiping. Nobody ever died from a little bit of Lashon Hara. It's okay. It's not, don't worry about it. So you have to understand who's our enemy. The Greek didn't come and say, listen, we want to kill you. They said, no, we want to be friends, we want to be business partners, we want to share our wealth and knowledge, but they inject the poison between the lines. So first you have to know who you're standing against. And what is the war here? And the war is Mesirut Nefesh. Any mitzvah that you do is Mesirut Nefesh. Mesirut Nefesh means self-sacrifice. To come and pray, to say Birkat Hamazon, anything that you do, this is sacrifice. I'm sacrificing. You could all be sitting now in a coffee shop and enjoying a nice magazine or a beautiful show, or instead of watching me, watching, I don't know, something in the theater. That's Mesirut Nefesh, to come and sit. Let me hear what he has to say. Maybe I can work on myself a little bit. So, A, you have to know who you're fighting against, and B is how you break that. And the only way to break Klipat Noga is not to feed it. And not to feed it, our sages call it Kadesh et atzmecha b'mutar lecha. Sanctify yourself with what you are permitted. To go and do something that is prohibited, there's not even a question here. There's no negotiation. But I'm allowed to eat. It doesn't say anywhere that I'm not allowed to eat. Okay, but sanctify yourself. You don't have to have 17 ogalachs today. It's not going to do anything. Now, when you're going on a spiritual diet, when you start negating things and you're secluding yourself for certain things, you see how suddenly the power of the neshama becomes stronger. I was once addicted to anything that exists in this world. And that was really the first thing that I started doing when I became observant. Is I told you that so many times. I didn't wear a yarmulke, I didn't put tzitzit on, I didn't do anything. My first action when I became observant is let me get rid of all the junk. Quit smoking, quit drinking, quit this, quit that, just quit everything. How can you focus on something when my mind is constantly, how am I getting the next cigarette, the next drink, the next this? You can't. You can't focus on it. You got to get rid of the junk. Now, just like one example out of many, I mean, I love coffee. I just smell good coffee. Once it was like the coffee and the cigarette. Wow. Coffee and a cigarette, the world can turn upside down. I don't care. I have my coffee and my cigarette. I don't care. The world can be exploding right now. So, once I used to drink 10, 12, 13 cups of coffee every day. And it had to go down. It's not because I was worried about the caffeine or let me see how I can control myself. Who was it the other day that came with coffee and said, I have great, amazing coffee? And I'm like, no, I only drink coffee in the afternoon. The afternoon? Yeah. Because in the morning, my klipat noga says, hey, why don't you have a cup of coffee? No. You're going to wait. You're going to have coffee when I say. You're going to know when you're going to have coffee? 10 hours into the day. You're not going to break to your demands and have a cup of coffee at 6 o'clock in the morning. Even though I know early in the morning we learn here, all the guys, they make coffee and that aroma. And then the rogarach across the street next to the mikveh. But how do you break the klipat noga? I'm going to get you the coffee. You know when? 4 o'clock in the afternoon you're getting your coffee. You're not getting anything now. You put your klipat noga, this animal soul under control. You make up a practice. You go up and down the midrachov next to the bakery, not getting anything, not getting nothing. So when you put your klipat noga, your animal soul on a diet, you know how to start controlling it. You'll see that the light of the neshama starts beaming in you. And then it's much easier to fight it. And you know what? You're saying, okay, today, instead of being 3 hours on Facebook, let's try 2.5 hours on Facebook. And you slowly put yourself under control. And you know what? There's no way that it's not going to work. The light of the neshama starts shining. Suddenly you do want to pray. Suddenly you do want to say Birkat Hamazon, come to a class. Suddenly you start hearing Lashon Hara. I don't want to hear about it. I don't want to hear it even. Don't even get me involved in this right now. So, in order to win your enemy, you have to know who's the battle with. And the Klipat Yavan is confusing because I don't know who I'm battling here. I'm sitting in a synagogue. Yeah, but you're sitting in a synagogue and you're checking your phone. Sorry to tell you. That's kind of contradicting yourself. Sitting in a Torah class and you're checking your messages. Did you come to the Torah class? Did you come to check your messages? So this is the Klipat Noga, that it's confusing us in a very sophisticated way. So now we have a loophole. In a few weeks is Hannukah. Now is not the time. When Hannukah becomes a little bit closer, then I'll tell you what needs to be done. You can find it in previous videos. But the 30 minutes, the 50 minutes that we're sitting next to the candles, these are the most powerful 30 minutes of the year. And if you sit there and you do what you're supposed to do, you don't check your WhatsApp when you're looking at the candles. I told you there's a certain chapter of Tehillim that we read, and we read it 7 times, but we add the sentence before, now is not the time, but nevertheless, there's something that we read. And you nourish your neshama for the rest of the year. You pump your neshama with so much light that if you do it the right way, you observe it the right way, and you don't worry about the donuts at that point, then you have this power of the neshama to take you for the rest of the year. Now, most important to learn from that is that this is my personal war, but we as a nation are standing in front of a very severe war. And anybody who thinks that things are under control, then that's where the radar is completely numb. Anywhere we are, doesn't matter if we're in Israel, in America, we are now, we have swords all over our throat everywhere. Guns here, and we have to, people really don't understand that. And there's no way, you can't negotiate, you can't go to the United Nations, you can't depend on Trump. Only the Kadosh Baruch Hu. The only way to fight this war is only with Torah and mitzvot. There's no other way to do it. Now when there was now barrages of missiles on the south of Israel, I don't know, in all my kids' school, they all came home and told me, today we just read Tehillim. Wow. Why? This is what Mordechai did. You think Mordechai made an army? When Mordechai saw there's an annihilation against us, Haman says, I don't care who you are, what you are, like Hitler. I don't care if your neighbor is Jewish. I'm going to kill you too. Same thing with Haman. Says, I'm going to kill you all in one day. Now that was 11 months before it happened. Mordechai could have gone now and, get the commandos all ready and get an army. And you think Mordechai trained anybody? He took all the kids, into rooms and all day long, just learning Torah. Just the kids learning Torah. So you see now, 2 days of barrages of missiles. That's when we kind of wake up and everybody starts reading Tehillim and doing mitzvot and showing to the minyanim. So it stops. Our only power right now against the annihilation, a threat that we have against us, is only Torah and mitzvot. So it's not only learning the Torah, it's not only the performing the mitzvot, it's everything that has to do with the Torah. Our enemy is overpowering us because we inside of us are, all we do is fight with each other. We hate each other, we slander each other, lie about each other, and so forth. No need to talk too much about it. You're aware of exactly what's going on. This is where our enemy is going to defeat us. And we are facing annihilation threats. Don't think for 1 second we're not. There's enough countries that are planning how they're going to annihilate the Jews once and for all. Let's get rid of them. And you see it in front of your eyes. And if you don't see it in front of your eyes, then I'm sorry. Then that's when a person really has to be checked. So the point is that we have to understand that it's not only my personal war with my own klipat noga and my own desires and inclinations. We're facing here now a war of survival. And trust me, you don't want the redemption, the Geulah, to come in a not nice way. There's only 2 ways how the redemption can come. Nice or not nice. There's no parv. It's either coming nice, and that will require a lot of work on our side, or it's not coming nice. And then it's going to look Hashem Erachem how it's going to look. So we have to battle on 2 platforms. The personal platform, my own battle, and I also have to see, wait a minute, this is a survival, we're on survival mode right now. Can't let the enemy now bring me down with all the nonsense that's going on around. He said and she said and he said about you, and you know what she said about this and she said about that, and all this junk and the self-hateness, the sinat chinam and all these nonsense. That's where the enemy is getting us in the deepest part. So we have to wake up. We have to see exactly who we're battling here, and it's important to know we can't battle our enemies with guns. It's not going to work. Our battle with enemies is only through Torah and mitzvot. That's how we're going to be victorious. Exactly like with Mordechai. Mordechai didn't go and battle them face to face. He says, okay, we learn Torah. Kadosh Baruch Hu will take care of everything. Because our problem right now is between us and Hashem, not between us and the Palestinians or the Hezbollah. We don't have any issues with them. So Kadosh Baruch Hu now, we have an issue with him. He gets very upset. People think that we're doing very well with Hashem. We're not. But the sinat chinam that we have in our generation, and the lashon hara that's going on, and the slandering and the lying and the cheating and the Hashem merachem, think Hashem is sitting happy in Shamayim? No, He's not. So we got to understand that we need to sweeten the judgments, and the only way of doing it is we got to get our act together. So B'ezrat Hashem, we have a few weeks to look forward to Hannukah. It's a very auspicious time. Don't waste the time on nonsense. We have 30 minutes to 50 minutes every day that we light the candles. We'll talk about some more throughout the next couple of weeks, what has to be my intention, what I have to do, what I have to read. But I have to understand that I'm standing in a war right now, and I need as much as spiritual ammunition to take with me. And this is the 99% coupon that we're getting in Hannukah, is just receiving this godly light. And that will sustain for me for the rest of the year. And needless to say that if we do our act b'msirut nefesh, then we can bring the redemption like that. The same way that they went, a few old men to fight, their mind, they had a switch in their mind. Like, we're going to get it done. They had the emunah, they had the belief, and they had Hashem standing behind them. We can do the same thing. We can get rid of this exile in any second. And I don't think anybody's now enjoying their life in this exile. I don't think there's one person says, no, life is amazing. What are you talking about? Everything is how they say in English, akol dvash, and they say in Hebrew. Everything is honey here. So not everything is honey. Everybody is struggling with a lot of problems. So we have a lot more to do. We have the right guidance and the right approach. Now have to apply. So nodding is very good, but nodding is for that dog from the Taco Bell, you know, that dog that goes like that. So nodding is good, but we have to do action. So the point is that when you walk out of the door, is you're saying, what am I doing with the information that I got today to change something? To nod is very, very useless. That's the Yavan. I'll take some of the information. The video will go online probably within 3 hours. You can watch it again, take your notes. The point, hold on, the point is to apply. is you go out of this. If you don't go out of this class with a plan, then you wasted your time. That's what we learned 2 days ago in the Zohar class. If you don't take what you learned and right away you apply it, then what did you learn for? You wasted, you warmed up a chair. That's what you did. So the point is to take it and to apply it, and I can guarantee to you that you'll be victorious in your own battles, and we can be victorious as a nation, and finally we can push away all this darkness and bring this godly light into the world, and finally see the ultimate light when Mashiach comes, and B'ezrat Hashem we should see it with our own eyes very soon.